I grew up in a family of veterans. My father and his brothers all served in World War II, and each of them in his own way was changed by that experience forever. So for me, like millions of other Canadians, November 11th, Remembrance Day, has always been sacred. Monty Elliston understands that sacredness better than many. A 35-year veteran of the armed forces himself, he grew up during World War II with an absent father who was serving overseas.
I didn't really understand at the time, but looking back, I see glimpses of what was going on at the time. Seeing all these guys in uniform and hearing some stories about what had happened during the war, and you begin to wonder how somebody can be away that much and still come back.
That was the question. How could anyone survive the situations that he heard the returning soldiers speak of? And those stories made an impression that Monty has never forgotten.
We can't forget the sacrifice that those others have made for us. It's not just the ones that didn't make it home, but the wounded, and what they call today PTSD, they called shell shock. There's many different injuries, not all physical.
No, not all physical. And maybe this is the heart of Remembrance Day, the meaning behind Lest We Forget, the memories of soldiers.
War is not a game. It's not fun. It's and both sides, whether they're the enemy or not, there's suffering on both sides. The enemy has a family too. On the news even today, you see what's going on in other countries, and the innocents, the children and the wives and the mothers, completely innocent people that are being killed. It happened before, it's still happening today.
And the veterans today have an added burden. After the World Wars, the experience of returning soldiers was shared by entire communities, whereas today, the veteran is often isolated.
The veterans coming back, like from Afghanistan and that, they're spread out. They're so few in numbers in comparison to the Second World War, and also the Korean War vets are the same way. There's so few of them in comparison to the Second War. In this town alone, I know of about 3 families. I don't know the families, but I know of about 3 of them that have sons that served in Afghanistan.
And it's them, as well as the veterans of past conflicts, that Monty thinks of every November 11th as he watches young people file into the community centre for Remembrance Day services.
War is hell. That it's not just a saying, but to know some of the hardships and maybe see that there is no fun in it, there is no glory in it. If you get put in the front line, it's not fun. And hopefully the young ones will see that the way of peace is the best way to go.
In the end, it comes down to the recognition that the men and women who serve in their country's military often see the horrors of war firsthand, horrors that are visited on both sides of any conflict. And for this one day, we as a nation, as a people, agree that we will not turn our face away. In Port Alberni, I'm Nancy Wilmot.